he told me that Joe Biden, that the West Coast is going to be attacked eventually. The West Coast is going to be attacked. Joe Biden's going to be responsible in some way for making that happen. I'd have to go back and look at my video again, but he's going to arm Russia for them to come and attack us. That is what I received.
Sleepy Joe. Yeah. I almost said Sleepy Joe.
I said Sleepy Joe because I get in trouble on TikTok if I don't agree with them.
Okay, so it seems like there's a bit of a conundrum here where you want Donald Trump to be the president again.
Yes.
Which would happen, I mean, he'd be elected in 5 months. He would take office in January of next year, at which point Sleepy Joe could not, I got to stop saying Sleepy Joe. I don't, it's a fine thing to say. I don't find it offensive, but I would prefer to differentiate myself and say Joe Biden. So that Joe Biden will be out of office and could not conceivably do anything for the Chinese or the Russians. So in order for your prophecy to be true and for you to feel like you are in fact communing with God, you must be rooting for the West Coast of the United States to be attacked in the next 8 months.
No, I'm not. And I've prayed for them. And a couple things there. I definitely could miss it. You know, I'm not perfect at listening to God. But like I said, I'm definitely careful before I attempt to do that. And I felt that I had heard from him and I wanted to put that out there. It doesn't mean that it has to happen by then. Joe Biden could have certainly put something in motion to make that possible to happen after Trump gets into office.
Sure. I can see that.
But I would hopefully, what I would like to see happen is a mass exodus from California to East, if that's going to happen, or that it just doesn't happen. And maybe
But if it just doesn't happen, would you say I was wrong? Or would you possibly entertain the idea that you weren't talking to God, that these were just the thoughts that we all have in our heads? Because we're all in dialogue with, I would say, ourself all day, every day. But some people think that there's an external force responsible for the thoughts we have in our head. But we're all experiencing it, Pastor Troy. I have thoughts in my head that sound like somebody talking. It's me.
Well, it's more than thoughts. It is an impression of my spirit. But if there is a point where that prophecy would expire and it was wrong, I would just say I missed it. You know.
So you wouldn't entertain the idea that you're wrong. You're not talking to God. You'll just say that God was speaking and I misinterpreted.
Or maybe it just means for a distant future. I mean, that hypothetically, I would have to look at it. I mean, I'd go back and listen to it and talk to God and see.
I think, you know what, let's both do that. And we'll keep an eye on the West Coast. I am on the West Coast. And as much as you seem like a fine and dandy gentleman, Pastor Troy, I'm not about to leave my home and move east because of your vision. So I will be here when the Chinese or the Russians